Day 2 of official practice here for the Bassmaster Open on Grand Lake. Bouncing around here and there. Still haven't found anything that makes me real comfortable for the tournament yet. Getting a couple bites here and there, but we got a lot of work to do. We've got well, in total 1 day, because we got a half day tomorrow and it's 12:30 now. So I'm gonna stay on it, keep grinding, make it happen. Let's go.
Andrew Beneke, straight ahead. Lord, number one. You have 14 here?
Yep, 14 inches. Oh yeah. There's 2. Can't get much further than where I'm casting anyway. Any day that I'm betting, I'm betting.
Positive.
Oh yeah, it's 25 after 10. We got a lot of time yet. This stretch, this is the only stretch that I've caught fish on right away in the morning. Otherwise, everywhere else was a struggle. And then all of a sudden, just go off.
Okay, button up, baby, please. Good one?
Yeah.
Ooh, yes! Yes! Thank you, Lord. That lady said, they work very good. Said, all right.
Oh, shit. Or maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skinny.
Let's head down that way and fish the transition rock. Darkest white bass I've ever seen.
Get out there. Oh, thank you, Lord. Can't say I didn't catch one on a dock, no?
Andrew Benke, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Andrew's 5, 12 pounds, 7 ounces. Respectable start, tied for 26. Good job.
All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap for day one. As you could see, it was a little bit of a grind. You know, caught a couple short fish. You saw me catch 4 keepers, and I lost a couple good ones, both on a square bill. But I did end up catching my 5th keeper shortly after the GoPro died. And then I called up twice before weigh-in. Brought me up to 12.7 for my best 5. 31st place, I was sitting in striking distance, and I knew if I had a duplicate day, I'd have the opportunity of having a good tournament. If I had a better day, I definitely had a shot at making the top 10. I didn't get any footage of day 2. I tried to offload all of the footage onto my laptop. My hard drive was full and it was late at night, and honestly, just didn't want to deal with it. I knew I had a big day the next day coming up. So, yeah, day 2 was a completely different story. Much earlier flight. I got to my spot fairly quick. Caught my first keeper at like 8:43, and it was a 3-pounder on a buzz bait. And then I went the rest of the day without catching a legal keeper. Caught a bunch of shorts, bounced around, fished a bunch of stuff. Some stuff that I saw in practice, some stuff that I never saw. Just trying a little bit of anything just to try and get a clue. And I kept going back to those same stretches, you know, thinking it was a timing thing, and I just couldn't put it together. I ended up with 15.7 total for the event, and that put me down in 84th place. But I'm just going to do a little bit of a wrap up. I mean, that was Grand Lake. You know, that was my first time there. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a success, but it definitely could have been a lot worse. But I'm just going to do a little bit of a wrap up of how I feel my 2021 Bassmaster Open Series season went. I wouldn't say it was successful. because I obviously did not qualify for the elites. I didn't win one. I didn't qualify for the classic. So, but it was a definite learning experience, getting out on the road and traveling around to two of the 3 lakes I had never been to before. I've been to Lewis Smith for the Bass Cat Owners Tournament. That was spring of 2020 in March. And then, you know, that tournament was rescheduled because of the flood, and that was put back into October. So the timing on that lake was a little bit off than anything that I'd ever seen. So it was almost like I'd never been to any of the lakes before. I knew my way around Smith, but that was pretty much it. I ended up in, you know, the mid 80s at Pickwick for the first time there. You know, the second day I didn't bring in a limit. I catch a limit, I'd bump up a lot of spots. I would have moved up big time. And the worst part is I lost a fish there that would have given me 5. And then Smith Lake was just a train wreck. You know, those fish, my whole pattern on Smith Lake just kind of disappeared, and I ended up just bouncing around trying to make something happen. I only ended up with 1. So that one was by far one of my worst tournaments that I've ever competed in, home or far away. And it's definitely my worst tournament that I've ever had outside of the state of Wisconsin. And then Grand Lake, you know, the first time there, I had opportunities. And that's the same thing I'll say with Pickwick. I had the opportunities to have a very good event and move myself up considerably. And it was, you know, I lost 2 fish on the first day of Pickwick, and then I lost 1 fish on the second day. So that's 3 fish. You know, I mean, that could have been the difference between a top 40 and where I ended up. And then the same thing happened with Grand Lake. I mean, I lost 2 fish on day 1, and then couldn't even put 4 more fish in the boat at Grand Lake. So because of that, I wouldn't say it was a successful season, but I also wouldn't say it was a failure. It could have gone a lot worse. You know, like I said, first time at a lot of those bodies of water, finishing the top third of the field against a group of stellar fishermen. I wouldn't say it was all that bad, but that left me with the question of what am I going to do for 2022?